Welcome to the first feature breakdown for the upcoming expansion for Hearts of Iron 4, Arms Against Tyranny. My name's Peter Nicholson, Game Director, and I'd like to introduce to you some of the upcoming focus trees being released in AAT. We'll start with a look at Norway.
Hello, I'm Carlo, content designer for Hearts of Iron 4, and I'm here to talk about Norway's content. Historical Norway faces many challenges in Arms Against Tyranny. The first challenge is how unprepared this country is. They just gained their independence, they don't have a big military, and they don't have a lot of budget for it. So what they do is disarm as much as possible and hope for the best. Of course, this didn't work. Historically, the Germans invaded for access to Narvik. During 6 months of the year, Narvik was the only place where Germany could ship their iron from Sweden. So this was a very strategic position. It's also a great launching pad for air attacks and naval attacks against the Northern Sea and disrupt trade with the United Kingdom. Norway was very tempting, and when the German invasion started, they were not ready. But hopefully, you can be ready. Developing Norway's civilian economy, you can then leverage it during the war for better defense of the country and better arms production. Norway's historical path is entwined deeply with the fascist path. And this is because once the war starts, on the democratic historical path, you will continue the government's efforts to fight back against the Germans and then exile to the United Kingdom, where you can continue to fight and hopefully come back after the war. Of course, if what you want is to start getting Norway ready for war from the get-go, then you can take the Allied path, where Norway ditches its policy of neutrality completely in favor of immediately aligning with the Allied powers. This path will allow you to prepare better for war and even fight back preemptively against Germany. The communist path in Norway has two options. You can do the classic Stalinist path, where you ally yourself with the Soviet Union and fight against Finland in the Winter War. Or if you prefer, you can embrace Trotsky's policies and get him into government. This way, you can forge Norway's own path through communism with the help of Trotsky, who was living in Norway. If you play your cards right, you can get him to join your government and give a boost to communism in Norway. No Scandinavian country would be complete without a monarchist path. Norway does have a monarchy. It started in 1905 with an old prince of Denmark. You will have to convince Håkon VII to take power, and even if, as a figurehead, take control of the government so they can start defending right away. Norway was a very unindustrialized, undeveloped country, so they had no means of making their own tanks. So in 1937, when they started thinking about getting into tanks, they contacted Landsverk, who made this tank here. They realized they could only afford one tank. And what's worse, they could only afford a tank without the armor or the turret. What they did, they got the Rikstanken, the Realms tank, a single Landsverk L120, without the armor and without the turret. They equipped the tank with makeshift armor and a turret that can only be described as a wooden cylinder with a hole for a gun. Nothing like this tank. I mean, actually, this tank is very close, but obviously not as shoddy. This is an actual tank, by the way.
Moving south from the Norwegian fjords, we arrive in Denmark.
Denmark was just building up their welfare state when the Second World War broke out. And that's what you're going to continue doing when proceeding down the historical path until Germany invades you. Then you have the option to either resist them or join forces with them. But you're not going to be any kind of subject. You're actually going to keep your current government, and you will start resisting your overlord through different focuses that will create a resistance movement. You can also align with foreign powers to seek foreign support in different ways. Building up your welfare state will help you construct civilian factories faster and construct infrastructure and railways faster and speeding up your research. But if you choose to swing the other way and enhance your military capabilities, that'll help you build military factories faster. It'll help with mobilization and training new divisions. So it's a balancing act between building up your welfare state or funding your military. Each advisor for Denmark will influence the balance of power differently. You gotta choose advisors wisely, because some of them will push the balance of power towards your welfare state and others will push it towards your military capabilities. The declaration of neutrality spirit will be crucial for playing historical Denmark. Becoming a subject will unlock the occupation branch for Denmark. This means that you can seek foreign aid to boost your military capability to resist your overlord. You will be able to create a resistance movement and set up the Danish brigades in a foreign country. Maybe Denmark isn't supposed to be able to resist Germany. I mean, the construction workers, obviously it says no. We're just gonna cut that part from the content. It's all right, it's fine, it's Denmark. You have the ability to start rearming Denmark once again, to be able to oppose any foes that come at you, like Germany coming with one of these bad boys. Those damn Germans. What you have to do is to unify your nation and prepare the civilian and military aspect of your society for the oncoming enemy. What you also can do is seek strength in numbers. You can seek out allies, or you can also set off one of your territories for a guarantee from a much more powerful nation. The monarchist and fascist branches are all focused on reconquering lost land and re-establishing old empires. The monarchist will be able to form the Kalmar Union, while the fascist branch will seek to restore the old North Sea Empire. But you also have the option to create the Baltic Sea Dominion. If you want to go communist, you better use the election system that's implemented into Denmark.
From Denmark to features, we'll now take a look at special forces, division structure, economy, and of course, design presets.
Special forces haven't received an update for quite a while. With this update, you receive a brand new whole world of customization that we haven't seen before for special forces. It will originally look very familiar to you, with a similar layout to doctrines. However, within the trees, you'll see that there's a big difference. With these trees that allow you to customize your special forces, we have some things that you've never seen before. They unlock new battalions and support companies, and provide some effects that were previously impossible within HOI. These unlock some very special types of gameplay that will allow you to pull some tricks on your friends, and also possibly pull off a special operation. Each branch has its own doctrine tree. As you progress down the tree, you'll have mutually exclusive choices to choose from, as well as some standard ones. These will generally always increase the number you can have within your nation, but also provide stats bonuses and much more. With the new customizable trees, each branch is paid for with a separate type of XP. Mountaineers are paid with Army XP, Paratroopers with Air, and Marines with Navy. With these new customization trees for special forces, your special forces can be vastly different from in other countries. This means it's even more important than ever that your special forces match up to the country's strategy that you're playing. Since the inception of the equipment designers, players have been requesting that we add presets that they can choose when they don't know what to design. In this update, we'll be providing that. Presets will provide you with historical templates, similar to those used previously by the auto designer, but now you can choose what you want. They come with friendly names and pictures, so you can quickly identify your favorite tank. So if you're looking for a Sherman or a Tiger, then you can find it. All of these presets are defined in script, and so they are 100% moddable, and you can add as many as you want. We've also made some changes to the economy. Previously, it was very common with a lot of trees that you could end up with 0 consumer goods. This was a problem because you could get to the point where effects and focuses would give you 0 effect, because you'd already reached 0 consumer goods. We've taken measures within this patch to address this. Consumer goods no longer works as it previously did in the calculation. It now has 2 values. We have a base value and we have a factor. The base value determines the point at which we start from when we calculate our consumer goods. The factor then modifies that value in a multiplicative way, which means as you increase your amount of factors applied to it, the result is actually less. This means that you will never truly reach 0 consumer factories, and you'll just get to very, very small numbers. There are 2 main changes coming to the divisional structure that you need to be aware of. The first one is that the default number of battalions allowed in a single brigade, that is the vertical line within a division template, it's been reduced to 4 out of 5. You can unlock your 5th one by investing into your doctrines. Each doctrine line has a different doctrine unlock, which will then unlock that final position. The second change to division structure is that we've done another review of combat widths. In this general case, we've reduced most combat widths from what they were before, and also this has resulted in a much flatter curve when it comes to efficiency over combat widths. This means that overall, your combat width matters less, and also larger divisions will not fit quite as well as before.
Thanks for watching. That's it for now, but make sure to join us next time for a look at Sweden and the joint focus trees. Until then, follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Hearts of Iron.